It's so strong from for Vins if they do manage to get the scaling up, and you're quite right about the scaling pick. I mean, honestly, look at this draft from A51. This is some sort of pro play kind of
Well,
thing
I
in
was going to
terms
say
of
that post-draft, I'm liking Area 51's odds.
Ignite on Ari in the mid lane, but their opposing laners have TP. So what do you think of these matchups now, looking at them with the different summoners?
Oh, I think the Ari might actually be a bit more favored now. Obviously, like the Syndra will that takes a bit of her kill pressure away at level 6. Like just dinging 6, immediately going into a full combo into a one shot is kind of like Syndra's bread and butter. Gangplank, I think taking Ignite it could be their Achilles heel if not done well, but I think if it's done correctly, he's gonna have a much better time versus Kayle and can look for solo kills when otherwise he wouldn't have been able to.
Oh, we're seeing some anti-invade technology here from A51. This could be an absolutely huge play early as both teams, without knowing it, staring each other down. The
Oh, did
wards
you
go
notice?
through.
I
The
think Blaziken
recalls are
stepped out the bush
there.
for a second too. I think
And they're
Blaziken
gonna,
showed out the bush outside the bush for a moment, which might have given Area 51 all the information they needed.
they're
Oh, and they're
gonna,
getting pung as well.
yeah, they're gonna pass like ships in the night. Quietly, no excitement here, no big explosive coin flip plays for either team. They're just gonna quietly pass through as
So,
we move into this game here.
if that invade did go through and Avengers Assemble did walk in to Area 51 there, who do you think would have come out on top there on the level 1 fight, even with the stack? Because I feel like it might have still been IA favored.
I feel like the area damage that Hecarim can deal with the Q, and the Dabis area damage with his Q as well. Not to mention the powerhouse that Tamkench is early. I have to feel that that still would have gone in the way of Area 51, especially with them having the jump, them having the advantage on.
Yeah, perhaps. Now we're seeing, oh, that Ari's W damage was actually very high. I guess that's one of the things they changed about her in the mini rework.
It's always one of those things as a new rework comes through, just learning about where the damage spikes are. Maybe they're not in the traditional places, but yeah, no, it does seem like a fairly big hit, as I believe. And the trades in the top lane just going over there. We saw it for a second. It's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of Gangplank walking forward, and look, the smack as the level 2 here is gone early there, and the Umbral Trespass goes through. A lot of damage there down onto Tubble Lard, but it does not end up coming to any fruition. The level 2 early pop there. Abuse coming out from Vince in the bot lane. Such a strong pick and such a strong fight. Gonna get that health advantage and look perhaps to even convert this into an early kill. However, Zeri, like we were saying in draft, is one of those champions who really can, if she wants, just sit back, use her Q to farm up, or her auto attacks to farm up, and just to keep herself safe in this game. So it'll be I think we really have to have our eyes on this bot lane for the whole game.
Thank you, Mr. Directed Cam.
Yeah, and the directed camera heard that one. He's like, oh, let's go have a wee pop down there quickly.
So on the mid lane, looking at this already, Ari is a little bit up on CS, obviously, but she has popped all of her corrupting pot stacks, whereas Syndra's still got 2 charges left. So that could maybe lead into a solo kill going forward, with Ari missing some of her sustain.
Yeah, but I think she's just going to use that priority to walk out lane. But Hecarim has already done this scuttle. Now, with the clear going down and Hecarim now knowing that Vi's on the top side of the map because she popped that blasting cone, it looks like Ezzy's just going to go straight down, use the priority that they've got to double scuttle the enemy side, the enemy Blaziken. So not what you want to be seeing early into this game. Trades going down in the top lane.
Yeah, just watching the minimap there without the directed cams, I was just watching Blaziken sadly sort of walking around his jungle. He seemed a little bit lost on what to do after seeing that the crab was taken. He sort of walked back to his raptor pit, then walked back again, and then he decided to go to top gang. But at least he got the top sums.
A really nice burn of the flash there from Blaziken, but I have to really note as well, that was a good flash there from Badomu to actually dodge the Vi Q, because it was placed nicely forward by Blaziken to try and maybe hit him on the flash, but just managed to bob and weave around it, so it looks like it was played out quite well. The first strike gold coming through, little tinkles. I honestly love the sound design on that. It's one of those random things. But yeah, no, the pressure that they had from the Ari backing off early and unfortunately just popping that vision cone at the wrong time, with the wave here pushing into Badomu, really advantage wave state he's got here in the top lane. However, Vi could be looking for yet another gank. Knowing the flash is down, goes straight into him. The damage going down, unfortunately, autos the minion. Oh, the flash in place. Not what you want to be seeing from Blaziken in his first jungle game, but it does not matter. That is going to be a kill. Not only a kill, but a kill onto Guard's Kale in the top lane.
You know what? It worked out. It worked out. Let's go, Blaziken. So again, like, they know that Gangplank's got no flash, so going for that regank was quite smart. And again, it also has the ignite opposed to the TP, so he can't even TP back to get the wave, which I think is crashing into his tower at the moment. But
yeah, he's losing a lot of that CS.
Riot wants to watch Tam Kench and Aphelios just stand next to minions instead of that. But...
yeah, there you go. Yeah, he misses so much of that, and that's gonna proceed to bounce back into the kill. The absolute ideal wave state for him there. And now that he's picked up these early boots, whereas Gangplank has gone for the Sheen, that's gonna give him that extra maneuverability around these barrels, around these Gangplank queues. So hopefully that will you know, free him up a bit more in the laning phase as he gets closer and closer to dinging 6 and gaining the range advantage. Now with first Drake spawning on the map. No, absolutely. First Drake coming up on the map being an Ocean Drake as we're looking at the game here, still obviously waiting on other things to be spawning up. It doesn't look like any team is necessarily putting early prio onto this, whereas Ezzy is pinging that he's on his way now there. So should this first Drake go down over, I feel like even though that's only the one, that could actually have a lot of impact here as Blaziken, knowing that the flash is gone, knowing that the TP is not there, knowing that the wave is pushing into his top laner, absolutely abusing Badomu in this game, abusing that early flash gank. Beautifully played by the top lane. It doesn't matter that he's down 10 CS, he has gotten a KO. 2 kills and a shutdown on him. Stabis looking in the mid lane, walking beyond the wave. The damage goes down and over. The ultimate doesn't manage to kill. If he had the ignite there, he could have maybe had it. And it was just like we were talking about, that lack of kill pressure there from the ignite. The root comes down from Vince early onto Howlitzer, hooks himself back under tower, does not manage to find anything. It looks like they're going to use this mid prio and that bot prio to converge into Drake here, get something off of Badomu going down early. But this is starting to look like a scary KO.
Is a lot to take in just now of what happened. Now I was just thinking as well, like, that was Syndra with her very, like, it's almost telegraphed on how she's going to trade and go for kills. So maybe Dabis is going to regret taking that TP later on. Oh, is this maybe going to be a solo kill on the side of GP?
In the top lane, the ultimate is up for Guard to get themselves out here. The Q goes through, the flash comes out. Perhaps worried about a second Q coming down. I'm unsure about the cooldown on that. The flash may have been unnecessary, but either way, better safe than sorry.
Safe than sorry, 100%. No, I'm just about looking at it. Oh, and immediate ghost.
Blaziken pops as he goes there to get him out. That is going to be a summoner down, quite an impactful one. However, it will be up for the next Drake fight. So whilst it does ruin some of the gank potency, it shouldn't be the end of the world here. So what do you think about this early game state? Because I mean, you have what you'd be expecting with these resources. So Iverngers assembled, they're trying to put resources into Kale. I mean, that's 3 top ganks now, 1 to burn flash, 2 for kills. But on the bot side, then it's an early Drake, early aggression. How do you think both teams are playing this game, and do you think it's working for one more than the other?
Oh, I think they're playing it really well in terms of getting Kale ahead, putting this GP behind, abusing the fact he doesn't have TP. But one thing I was going to note earlier was that the Ocean Soul, like, isolated, it's not like amazing, but it might have been really good for IA to pick up since they are in these more like pokey lanes, like with the GP queues and the Syndra poke. Like, it would have really helped out the solo lanes on the side of IA getting that Ocean Soul. Ocean Drake.
The immediate aggression there, beautifully in time with you finishing your point. The ult comes down over the wave, but the flash out, beautiful from Howlitzer. Finds himself out in the bot lane there, keeping him alive, as we can't have a moment to talk about that gank, as the man Blaziken is back in the top lane. The Q misses onto Badomu. However, the kill is yet again going to go down 3-0 for Guard. Blaziken is camping in this man lane. Start charging him rent.
He's back. Vi from Arcane is doing bits right now on top lane, getting this kill, like just funneling gold into this this Guard's kill.
Yeah, and if we could quickly, I'm just curious if our lovely production staff could take us over to the gold charts to see how it's looking in this game. As some aggression does come down into bot lane, might have to hold that thought damage down onto Howlitzer. The ultimate comes over, the ignite is ticking, and it does go down. The kill going over to Tam Kench there, not ideal as we look could even be looking for a tower dive here. Don't want to necessarily call it too early. The directed camera has taken us elsewhere. But yeah, it looks like Tubelar is just going to give that CS, give that tower, not look to flip anything. Vins with red-white is a scary beast. But like we were saying here,
lead on the Kayle, really nice.
yeah, absolutely massive in the early game. 800 gold is absolutely nothing to shake a stick at. 300 gold in the jungle as well, also very nice. But just as we were saying, trading on the other side of the map, there is a gold advantage in every other lane for A51. So the bot side of the map for A51 is not looking too shabby. And I mean, when you're staring down the barrel of an Aphelios who's having an easy enough laning phase, managing to pick up kills, that's not bad at all. And they're even going to use their priority with that dive on the bot side to manage to pick up this Herald. So I don't think, as much as this Kayle is obviously very strong and always going to be a late game powerhouse, I wouldn't be too scared if I was A51 right now, because you have the gold where it matters, and where it matters is Vins.
100%. I guess each team has come in here with a game plan, and they seem to be following it to a certain degree. Like IA's clearly like came in with this role swap and like, okay, guard, you're gonna carry. We're gonna gank you. We're gonna get you ahead. You're gonna pop off and win us this game. Let's see if you scale harder than Vins.
And I mean, no better pick to do it really than Kayle. So we might have to hold that thought as the Blaziken man is in the mid lane again, getting that kill straight down. There's not too much that Davis can do there. Once he's stunned up, that kill is going down. But just like we're talking about, the boots in the top lane making the difference. Now that, I feel like, is quite big. That's the first time he's been able to get elsewhere on the map. But the lethal tempo charged up for guard. That is massive damage. He's going for the tower dive. He kills Badomu under his own tower. A solo bolo in the top lane. Now I take back what I said. I take back the A51 does not need to be scared. This Guard of War is terrifying.
That was the GP flash as well on top of it. Like, that is so good for them.
Yeah, absolutely huge plays. Ezzy looking into the top lane. The ultimate is here for Guard, able to block out the damage and not going to be able to trade it back. The ultimate coming out just to guarantee that kill to go through. 714 gold onto the Hecarim. That shutdown is going to be big for the side of A51.
Like, they're trading the gold out, but just this Kayle is going to be nasty. This Kayle is going to be so nasty later on. And again, I just need to commend Blaziken. These ganks, lot of pressure. You would not guess that this man had just roll swapped for this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's clearly a pick he's comfortable on, as they're looking to pick up their first Drake of the game. Gonna be the Hex tech coming over, as is indicated by the fact that Riot has still not updated their client with their logo for this Dragon and Spectator 2. Please do that, Riot, for the love of God, as the Mountain Soul is going to be the shout for this game. As people moving in, the damage coming over this area. Ult pop, Blaziken is here yet again, knocking up Ezzy, and that is going to be the kill going over. Whilst plates are taken in the mid lane, a kill is traded over. However, yet again, Vins, this is not a Draven performance here. This isn't him getting a million kills a second, but he's quietly in the bot lane, taking plates, taking these skulls, and he is going to be absolutely huge. Yet again, if we could look at the gold charts here, yeah, look at that, 700 gold there in the bot lane advantage. That's going to be popping up again with those plates coming through. So absolutely huge play. So even though bot, you know, they've been roaming around the map trying to help other things, Vins is quietly, he's that engine, he's chugging away in the background, you know, and he could absolutely be scary. And you know, the Kayle solo kills, it's easy for our eyes to be diverted away from the game state and just be saying, oh, this Kayle's massive. There are ways for Area 51 to play around it. The Syndra poke can be absolutely huge, stopping her from engaging. Ezzy Fear maybe kicking Kayle into the entire team when her ult's down, or Brian managing to get on top of her, trying to burst her out. She's not absolutely unflappable, so there is absolutely still room for Area 51 to play around it this game.
The thing is, I'm kind of thinking a bit on the opposite side. I'm thinking that Vins can't really afford to just quietly chug up when things are accelerating at such a pace on the rest of the map, because like this Aphelios, if he's just slowly getting stronger and this Kayle's accelerating really hard, she is going to one-shot this Aphelios regardless of his Tam Kench, which is going to try his damnedest to protect him. And then you're going to have the RE trying to pick him up as well. You're going to have the Vi lockdown. Like, I think they might need to speed up their rate of play here and try to actually maybe make some more risky plays to get a more significant and noticeable lead on Vins.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting scenario, because despite the fact that there are currently 6 kills to 2 up, as Ezzy looks for a gank in the top lane here. Guard, the phase rush is going to be procced, but that is absolutely massive damage going over. Guard doesn't care. He has the ultimate. He has the damage. He knows he could trade these back 1 versus 2, but he doesn't get it. The crit barrel there coming out from the 1 crit cloak that Badomu has, saving them in that top lane play.
There was a world Guard won that. I think if he flashed at the end there to get the last auto on the Hecarim, he won that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh no.
Aggression here coming in from Blazegoose, but it might be his first major mistake of this game. Has to flash out, but the kill still goes over. Now it's going to be flashing forward to ensure that pick comes through. And now Howlitzer are also forced to burn his flash. It's disaster in the top lane.
It's a
for Area 51.
tragedy. Well, never mind what I was saying about slowly chugging along when the top side are just throwing their lead.
Like I was
That
saying,
was just unfortunate.
yeah, the shutdown there is absolutely huge. Tubalard popping the ultimate, maybe just looking to get this wave shoved out before Tom Kench can find his way on the bot side of the map. Yeah, just going to get himself out and back here. The pings are going down, but it looks like he should be able to get himself out. Now, what I was speaking about there before that play went through is the fact that despite the fact that Kale's massively fed, because of the shutdowns, because of the Drakes, and because of the trades on the other side of the map, the gold was actually even. And now, even after that play, despite being down 2 kills and even on Drakes, Area 51 are actually up over 1k in gold. So despite the fact that their gold has nicely been funneled into this kill, Iverngers Assemble is not out of the darkness yet, as Howlitzer might be walking into the darkness as he gets picked up here. The hook goes over, but spells go wide from both sides. He passes back in. The Dreadnought goes through, but does not pick up any kills. Questionable plays there from both sides, questionable projectiles from both sides, but it's still going to result in the same thing. Howlitzer going down, face checking into the side of A51.
Oh, again, like these games, UNL games hit different. Just things backwards and forwards constantly, even in a one-sided game like CFFC versus Pogprogs, like still things are constantly happening. But yeah, just despite IA's very strong early performance in this game.
The ultimate coming down over, and Dab is going to have to cut you off there. The Everfrost comes out from the eye, but it does not look like it's going to be enough damage to get it through. The 8 from Brian is going to get him out to safety. Ults burned from both sides, but no kills going down. And now Badomo is really suffering in this top lane. The damage is coming through. The crit are not hitting the Essence Reaver first item. I think interesting itemization, looking to burst out this kill. But yet again, another fight on the map. We don't get time to stop. The ghost pop from Ezzy gonna find his way out. That is a huge cooldown burned just before this Drake. That is monumental for the side of Iverngers Assemble.
So a question for you, do you think that, so again, IA had a very strong like presence in the early game, like the early game, or do you think this is IA throwing or A51 making smart plays?
I have to feel like it's just been slight technical executions for the side of IA that have really led to them losing these plays, because none of them, I would say, have been absolute dominations. I think a lot of them have been, you know, really close, but Area 51 just managed to edge out. And just as I say that, the fight comes down, the ultimates have been popped. The Dreadnought manages to survive, just make his way out of that fight, and that is a shutdown onto this area. The Hecarim is dead before the Drake fight, and now it's going to be Vince following. Davies manages to get damage out, take down Tubalard, but could it be enough for the fight? The old knock-up comes through the Dreadnought on the back half of the fight, and they are going to win that on the bot side. That is a 4-for-1 for the side of IA, and now it looks like it's even going to be a solo kill on the top side of the map. An ace at 17 minutes, a Drake going down, and just as we were saying, the Area 51 were managing to make their way back into the game. A dominating fight from Iverngers Assemble.
That was massive. The Zeri got the shutdown on the Hecarim, and like even if the fight did just stop there, that was an that was a trade up for IA, getting the Hecarim shutdown on their carry. They killed the jungler, so they couldn't continue Dragon, but then they just got aced.
Yeah, the fight just got turned around. It fell to pieces. It seemed like the damage there from the Zeri, even though Davis was able to shut it down, having to flash, having to move forward aggressively into the enemy team, was just able to pick it up on the back half, and the damage from the Ahri, from the Vi, cannot be underestimated. And Ezzy is here. Guard. Oh, doesn't get spotted out. Guard's really low here. This could be a bit of an in-play. Ults, flashes over the wall. A sneaky boy manages to pick up the Herald. It will, however, cost him his... Yeah, well, I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, he has to burn Flash, but he did pick up Herald. No plates are down, but, you know, could still use that to funnel more gold into himself. I mean, an interesting play, to say the least, as Gale Force forward?
Oh. I think this just makes it so that his split push, like, the fear of him split pushing is going to be all the more there. So now they can, like, on top of his already scary split push as a Kale, he's now also got the Herald.
The depth charge coming through there does not manage to find his target. Vin's eaten up by his homely Tom Kench. The knock-up going through could be used. The Gangplank ult on top of this fight means that it's gonna be hard for them to fight into it, but they just get out. I don't know what was going on there. I lost my words. And as I was doing so, I just walked out. They burned multiple ultimates. Whilst they did burn some ults themselves, I have to feel like that's a positive trade on them. That's huge ultis, huge cooldown timers. Yeah, they're going to move towards top side here, but Guard's going to be aware of it. These fights seem really scattered, I would say, for Area 51.
Oh, I think it's very disjointed, but I think one thing to maybe note of Area 51 is despite being down on kills in quite a lot of games, they still managed to maintain a gold lead. Again, this game is showing that. Like, they still are up on gold just through all the platings they were able to pick up early.
Yeah, massive damage here onto Vince, perhaps walking too far forward, not respecting the damage out from Killer Vanilla. And yet again, Ezzy's going to find himself in no man's land, in enemy territory, and ends up dying. Another kill picked up here for the side of Iverngers Assembled. This kill is getting on the board, and what looked like Vince overstepping there, being forced to burn his flash, an uncharacteristic mistake from himself, ends up having his jungler be the one punished for it. And I have to feel like this could even be a Baron angle should Iverngers Assemble want it. They don't look to be going for it. The hook there onto Badomu just to stop him basing. But pretty nasty from Alistair. No need, bro. No need.
Man's already down in the depths. He's already down in the depths, and he's just adding some salt into the wound of having a miserable game right now. Getting bullied by Vi, Hillwitz was stopping his base. Kale is solo killing him. Man's not having a good time.
The depth charge comes out onto Dabis with Guard on the back half. Going to look to get it down. The hook lands, but the munch comes through from Brian, trying to get him out. The tower's hitting people up here, but not managing to take anyone down. Looks like this is just going to be a tower to the side of Iverngers despite all the aggression. 2 shutdowns here on the members there. 51 moving forward, chasing forward. But look to get something on the back half.
Brian is trying so hard to put out these fires, but people just keep getting themselves into bad spots where they're letting themselves being picked.
That's the thing. I think all these fights have really felt like that. Brian's had to burn his ult early, and then somebody else will die on the back half of the fight. So he'll either have to, you know, save Vince, save Dabis, and then Badomu will find himself going down, or something along those lines. So, you know, whilst he's trying his best, he can only eat one person. You know, he can't eat his entire team and get them out to safety.
I think Brian's playing this about as well as he could. As he's trying to keep his teammates alive right now, but I think Ezzy is probably the main culprit of finding himself in places he shouldn't be right now. I think they're just trying to overforce.
Yeah, no, it seems like that. Maybe they're feeling the pressure of the Kale. I mean, the numbers on the board can always be scary. But I mean, it's one of those things where we have the clairvoyance, we have the numbers, we can see that it's fairly even in gold, but they can't see that in game. What they can see is that there's a 3-0 and 4 Ari on the enemy team, and there's a 6 and 2 Kale, which is always a terrifying thing. So perhaps that's affecting their mental.
If I was in this game, I 100% would think I was down on gold right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess the GP passive income. Oh, GP getting caught.
The damage coming over, but Domu getting taken out, picked off early. Blaziken burning his flash to get away from Ezzy, but might not even be needed. And now Ezzy might yet again have found himself caught out, but it doesn't look like it. Howlets are getting picked off in that fight. Ezzy tanky enough to survive it through a 1-for-1 trade, but Kale is on the top side. Kale with his Herald. They're gonna have to send someone back to deal with this. Look like the man of the hour is going to be Vince, and I wonder if they're going to contest here on this Drake being numbers down. Killer Vanilla walks in, does not stop the base there for Aphelios, and it's going to be a fractured fight across the map. The inhibitor goes down, but that's absolutely huge damage there coming out onto Vince. The item is procced, but the kill does not go over. He's going to find himself back into the base. Blaziken is on here, and he steals away the dragon from the enemy team, manages to pick it up. The question is, do they win the back half of the fight? Zeri ulted up here, moving fast as hell. Brian gets his teammate out and gets out himself. However, Guard going down on the other half of the map. Vin's just surviving there, and what looked to be such a positive play for them ends to be more balanced. However, that puts themselves on Mountain Soul Point for the side of Iverngers Assembled.
That play was fully calculated. This man flashes, burns his ult to get the Herald, to then push it straight through the inhib, take a Nexus Tower, and then also reset GP's gold.
We're out here playing checkers. Guard is playing 5-dimensional chess right now. This isn't even League of Legends for him. This is just him messing with puny mortals in this game here. He does end up going down, but I mean, regardless, that's so much gold under his belt, and being able to pick up the Drake there. Blaziken's coming in clutch with the smite, managing to pick it up. Oh, but you don't like to see that. Look at that item, Lauren. Look at it. Disappointing. I expected better of my man Blaze to know than to go Sterak's Gage second.
Oh dear,
Tut,
oh
tut, tut.
dear. I'm also looking at Area 51 and thinking, it's a damn shame that this gold is on Hecarim and not Aphelios right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If this goal was on Vince, perhaps this game could be going a completely different direction. But I mean, we saw there with the Kale, it doesn't look like it really mattered. Kale was just 100 to 0ing Vince without much trouble.
Sure, I think it's more just to decide that Ezzy's, I think, just going a little bit too deep at the moment.
Yeah, he
He's
does
just,
seem to find himself getting picked out. He survived in the other fight, which is worth noting. But yeah, it does sometimes feel like perhaps his calls or him going in as on occasion baited his team into misstepping.
it's just the Hecarim effect. Is you wanna press R, you want to be on their backline, no matter if their backline is in their like fountain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The same thing as the Lee syndrome, always wanting to take that Q in. You always want to ult on top of people.
My
And I mean,
mind's telling me no, but
my body.
my body's telling me yes.
Uh, I mean, if we take ourselves back to the macro here, yeah, there's just going to be shove Kale on the opposite side of the map and hover the objective, and then Guard is executing so much pressure here onto Badomu that it's going to be a split fight for them either way. However, Area 51 might be trading this pressure. Howlitzer gets the Q in, but a beautiful stun from Dabis, managing to cancel a lot of any potential follow-up there, and the fight continues. Howlitzer finds himself going down. This is looking really positive for A51 here. Tubalard manages to find himself out, not knocked up by that, but that is a 1-for-0 trade of the supports there, and it looks like Area 51 is going to turn onto this Baron.
Need to play this slow. They need to play slow and just put out whatever poke they can, because Kale is TPing top to look to end the game right now. And IA's off the Baron, nice.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
A51.
yeah, the immediate call there, just like burn the TP. Yeah, the team's going to try and converge on you, but you should be able to get yourself out here. I mean, Guard's Kale just able to walk out of this one. As the,
Yeah.
the minions there, yeah, smacking the tower. It's such a huge threat. The amount of damage that Kale can deal onto these towers is huge. But I think one of the things worth remembering, as much as Kale is absolutely scaling up to be a beast here, there you cannot knock Badomu and you cannot knock Gangplank in the late game. You can see the double crit cloak here. He's looking to blow some folk up, and if Tubalard or Killer Vanilla gets caught out by one of these, it could spell disaster for them.
The thing is though, is he going to be blowing, like, can he be, like, that crit is not going to reach the other team. Like, he is on side lane duty right now. He is just dealing with wave after wave that has been shoved into his side lanes.
Yeah,
So I don't think he's gonna be able to fight Tubalard or kill Vanilla with these barrels when he's just on PvE duty in the side lane.
Yeah, maybe the response is instead to change the side laner that's looking into Guard. But if you look at the side of Area 51, who else do you send into Kale? Who else is strong enough to do that, you know?
It's an awkward position for Area 51 for sure. This guard is just this Kale is just too big right now.
No, I completely agree with what you said originally. This Guard is absolutely massive in this game as he's chasing down Badomu, the damage coming over, the auto attacks chasing him up, but his team's going to be there to execute him out to safety. And Ezzy, looking at the minimap, the man is in danger here, deep into enemy territory. He doesn't look to execute, pops the ghost instead, but the fight is on the other side of the map. Guard getting picked up there, big kill onto Vince, and they know it, flashing forward as he picked up on the back half, but there is no Kale in this fight. Can Zeri, can Ari deal enough damage to win the fight? Getting in onto the backline, Blaziken manages to pick up the stuns, managing to pick up the roots, and it looks like the fight's just going to be all Iverngers assemble. The Zeri and the Ari damage was enough to kill. Instead of looking to end, it looks like they're turning onto the Baron, but no, the pings are getting called down with death timers as long as 42 seconds on the side of Area 51. Can Iverngers assemble win this game? Ezzy, he's going to be back up in 15 seconds. He will not have ult or ghost up for stopping this. It looks like Avengers Assemble could look to end this game. Now the minions are pushing down into their base. They're clearing them as fast as they can. The respawn timer is going to be up 2 seconds, 1 second on Ezzy, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do anything about it. Brian coming back onto the map, but they're just auto-attacking the Nexus. They're going to try to stop this as hard as possible. So low health bars for the side of Avengers Assemble, but Tubalard is just hitting the Nexus. He doesn't care, and that is a win on the board for Avengers Assemble. Massive for their playoff potential, and a W on the board, bringing their record against A51 to a tied 1-1. Beautiful macro from the side of Avengers Assemble.